good to see that the University of Wyoming men's basketball coach, Larry Chiat, made it to the game. He's already recruited one player, but who knows, he might have been looking for someone else. Star Valley versus Torrington in the boys 3A state championship game. First quarter, Star Valley wearing the white. Tyler Ely with a baseline drive, and that ended up being his only 2 points of the game, but it got his Braves on the scoreboard first. Now, Torrington was not messing around early on. They meant business. Jason McManaman stops, pops, and hits from about the foul line for the first 2 of his 16 points, and this game is tied at 2 points apiece. The Trailblazers were living up to their name in the early going. Blake Wisruth is wide open in the corner, and he's causing some trouble. He poured in 10 points of his own, and his team is up 5-2. The starters for Torrington were doing their thing, and it resulted in a good start. This is Frank Stelflug taking aim from 15 feet out, and he'll connect. That would push the score up to 7-2. Of course, having a UW recruit on your team can sometimes tip the scales. McManaman from NBA range, yellow. That was part of a 12-zip run for the Trailblazers, and they would lead 12-2. Star Valley needed to get it in gear before things got worse. Cole Battleson had a battle plan, and he'll get a couple of lucky bounces, but he would give his team a much-needed 3, although the Braves were still down 14-5 after the first 8 minutes. Second quarter, the boys from Afton were trying to get back into this game. The baseline drive doesn't work, but Wyatt Shinover was there to pick up the pieces, and he'll just put enough on the shot to get it to drop. He scored 10, and his team is down 14-9. But the Trailblazers were still going at their own pace. They find Stelflug open underneath, and he finds his team 2 more points to increase the lead to 16-9. These two teams did not hook up during the regular season, so it made this game a little more interesting. McManaman did not seem to mind one bit. There's another 2 points for the future Cowboy, and his team has the score doubled up at 18-9. The Braves were a team who lived and died by the long ball in this game. 29 shots and only 6 of them went in, but those that did were huge. Ridge Hilliard went 1 for 12, and that was the one, but it helped. His team trails 18-12 at this point. As for the East Regional champs, they kept mixing it up. Wisruth thought about driving, then he hit the brakes and figured, that's close enough. It worked. Torrington is maintaining a 20-12 lead. Now this next highlight is a little hard to tell, so we really can't dispute. Hilliard knows that the clock is starting to run out. He had to hurry a little bit, but he got it to go. However, the ref ruled that it's worth 2 instead of 3, so Star Valley went into the locker room down 20-14. Now for those who are at the game, you know who this is, and you also know that he's now $100 richer, and he can show off a few dance moves as well. Third quarter, the Braves were slowly chipping away at the deficit. Paul Schwab fights his way inside, whistle, and gets the bucket. He had to wait for that one. His team's still down 20-16. But Torrington was still doing their thing for at least a little while longer. McManaman did not miss much in this game, and that was a good thing. That would push the score up to 22-16. The boys from Afton were starting to put it together after a while. Dalton Passey's at the top of the key, and he'll open the door for 3. And that's where the deficit was at this juncture. It's now 22-19. The Trailblazers were able to keep the opposition at arm's length for a while. Here's McManaman again, and the defense had a hard time stopping him. His team's up by 7. It's 26-19. Star Valley kept it together, and things eventually started to pay off. Battleson eyes it, spies it, and buys it for 3. And this game is tied up again for the first time in a while, 26 points each. They were not done. Battleson again. He's going to count to 3, and then he's going to move the ball. The Braves are back in business with a 29-26 advantage, and they had the momentum. But the funny thing about the Mo is that it can change in a heartbeat. Cameron Kelly, cash. This game was setting up for a good finish. Things are knotted up at 29 going into the final 8 minutes. Well, there's an unusual combination. However, all things considered, it was perfectly normal. Fourth quarter, the Braves found themselves playing catch-up again. Shinover with a long 2, and his team will take what they can get, trailing 35-31. This next highlight is quick, so don't blink. We lost the ball for a moment, but then we realized that Kelly had it, and he's got himself 3 points and gave it to the Trailblazers, who are up by 6. It's 38-32. Star Valley needed to pick up the pace somewhat if they wanted to have a chance. Shinover will shoot on the go. It got him 3, but the Braves are still down by a count of 41-35. Torrington had already started to switch to free throw mode by this point, and they made enough in the end to keep the opposition at bay, which is what a championship team is supposed to do. The Trailblazers win their second state title in 3 years. winning this one by a score of 48-39. Torrington would finish the season with a record of 23-5.